Dustin, let's get to NFL and an interesting story you found, just kind of about the education effort going on, and a little bit of applause going on.
Yeah, Associated Press did a good story this morning about NFL education efforts in the wake of all these suspensions and players getting, either betting on NFL games or betting not on NFL games or betting in the wrong place. There's been a lot, apparently, of effort in the wake of all that by the NFL to kind of rectify that and make sure players are educated. And that's good because absolutely should be happening. But it's also kind of a wake-up call that, this is not new. This is 5 years in. And we have AP has multiple players kind of saying, the NFL wasn't really telling us what to do very well until just now. We got Detroit linebacker Alex Anzalone say they made what has been broken very clear after the fact. So leading to the fact that there's been don't bet, but not exactly what you should do. And again, another good quote from another Detroit player, Jerry Jacobs. Last year, they didn't give it to us like that. They just told us we can't gamble, but they didn't tell us where. And, this is obviously, for a player, it's like, they say you can bet, but you can't bet these certain places. You have all these integrations or sports books either right on site or nearby. It's got to be confusing. Obviously the safest thing is just not bet if you're an NFL player, but they should be allowed to bet on what they want if it's not, if it's not on company time, not on team time, or not on the NFL. So anyway, it was fascinating to me that, we're 5 years into this and there's some players throwing shade at this saying, this is obviously some anecdotal evidence, but they're saying that this hasn't been a huge holistic effort out of the NFL. And now everybody feels like, I guess they just did a better job. And, to the NFL and the NFLPA's credit, they're being a little more clear. And that's why NFL's always been kind of an outlier. Either the education effort hasn't been good or we're just finding out more about this. Because again, we haven't had this in any of the other major team sports in North America. So what has been the outlier with the NFL? Is it the education effort hasn't been as good, or are we just finding out? Apparently some of it, at least you would think, is this fact that there's not been great education. Obviously, just more players in the NFL as well, so you have a bigger sample size.
Adam, I don't want to sit here and pimp you out or anything over the podcast, but the NFL does NFL, 30 camps and 32 camps in 32 days. They go to 32 different training camps and whatever, and all that. Can you not do the LSR 32 camps in 32 days and you go in and just tell guys exactly what they can and can't do? This is a good side hustle for you in the slow part of the year. I mean, you could just roll through, go in, give a little seminar, walk out of there, high five, everything, and then you will be the reason that you're keeping their star player on the field. That is on you, Adam Candee.
You know what's going to happen when I walk in. They're all going to look at me, 6'2", entirely built from sticks, twigs, and duct tape, and be like, that man knows about football. I should trust him. I absolutely am going to listen to what he says. They would not do that.
Yeah, you're saying it instantly looks down at the phone? They just instantly start playing Candy Crush?
I mean, absolutely. Swipe, and they're not listening to me for a second. If I did have the chance to go in there and talk to them, what I would say is that I don't necessarily agree with these rules any more than you do, but these are what the rules are.
Right.
And I think in particular, hearing these comments coming from Detroit Lions players, they have every right to feel a bit sensitive about the way they were affected by this. They have multiple teammates who were popped for gambling who have been released. And then they have the Jameson Williams situation, which remains the Mona Lisa of ridiculous decisions by the NFL for suspending him for 6 games for not betting on professional football and not doing it when he was inside the team facility or at the practice grounds or anything like that. So that is the worst of all the decisions, and they have every right to feel the way they do. Now, what you have to put on the other side of it, though, is that if you've been told forever that you can't gamble and that you're not allowed to bet, then at some level the personal responsibility is on you to go to someone and say, hey, can I or can't I? Right? To go to someone in your organization, to go to your coach, to go to your GM, to go to someone and ask, hey, is this cool? Because when you don't, you have happen what happened because you put the decision in someone else's hands. You put the decision at the hands of the league. And as we know from this situation and many others, when it comes to discipline in the NFL, you're spinning the big Price is Right wheel and seeing where it lands, and you have no idea where it's going to be at any given time.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where it's like you don't want to have to say like maybe you should just not bet at all like during the football season or not bet at all just in general. But like you said, I mean, if they want to bet lacrosse, if they want to bet beanbags on whatever, like why does it matter? Like I don't care, but it's still it's like yeah, but you could do it in the wrong hot tub, and next thing you know, you're going to be suspended for 6 games. So there is all of that's going on.